Well, if you join my channel, probably wondering what's my story, and I'm happy to share it. So, as I mentioned in my first video, I've gone from 370 pounds at my highest to a current weight of 240 pounds and been a little bit lighter. But my story goes back many, many years. I was the fat kid growing up. I was teased mercilessly as a kid. I was a big kid. But it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy to go through life that way. Fortunately, I had parents who were always encouraging, understood that that I might, need a little bit of extra support, and I was fortunate that they put me in tumbling lessons when I was a kid, so I could at least move my body, my much larger body. I was always the tallest kid, but when you're the tallest kid and the fattest kid, you're kind of singled out. I was blessed to have participated in sports as a kid, and my parents were pushing me to try out different things, and so that was really to my benefit. I can't imagine what it would have been like if I hadn't been active as a kid, wanting to go out and play and do all of those activities and playing sports. Found a great group of friends when I was a kid that would allow me to really take advantage of that, and to go out on the playground, play pickup basketball, play, two-hand touch, go out and be active. But on the other side, when I was at home, it seemed like, I had a bottomless pit. I feel like I could, eat all day, every day, and that was available to me. I was rewarded by food, and that made it challenging. And so when I was younger, I, was brought to a nutritionist and provided with some strategies, but it didn't really necessarily land. I had some periods where I would gain weight and lose weight based on activity, but really wasn't until I got into college and played some sports in college and was super active, that initially there was a handle on it, but then in my early 20s, I really got really heavy. I remember stepping on a scale at a gym, being 364 and thinking, oh goodness, I'm probably much heavier than this. And so that was probably the light bulb moment that I really needed to start to turn my life around. I was fortunate enough, I was successful in athletics, was a multiple time All-American, and really caught the strength training bug early. I started lifting when I was 13 years old. I got my first weight set at 13 at home, which was fantastic. I like to joke that Santa dropped the weights down the stairs, those old vinyl covered concrete weight set, the whiter set, which was great, or Weeder set, which is awesome. Really caught the bug, and I'm in my early 40s now, and I haven't stopped training. So this is about year 27 or 28 of strength training in some regard, and I don't think I stopped for any significant period of time. And so, but once I hit that point of being in the 360s, I was like, okay, something needs to change, and hopefully, as I share more on my channel and provide you some insights, that you can find some of my background valuable. I've always been passionate about the human body, and it wasn't until I got into college and really started to study and see the impact of what was a passion of mine. I, probably like many other people that had some unfortunate teasing as a child, utilized resistance training to bolster how they felt about themselves. It was one place where, being strong came easy, and my leverages were good because I was a heavy kid. And so you could press a little bit more than some others and lift a little bit more than others. But really, when I got to that point, I was like, okay, this isn't going to be good for my long-term health. And so initially went from probably 370. I would say at least 370 into the 280s when I got into my early 20s, and then back up to about 330, 340, and then in my mid 20s, and for the past 15 years have been slowly chipping away at getting down to where I currently am. And so I think over the next few videos I'll share some of my tips as to what I think is valuable to get to that point. If this is where you're starting at, if this is a space you're in where you might be a little vulnerable and looking for someone who's going to walk the walk, you know, that's kind of my hope and my idea for the channel. I think the fitness industry is great. There are inevitably going to be people that are coming into the fitness industry where they haven't necessarily gone through that struggle of significant change. And so that doesn't mean they're not knowledgeable. It doesn't mean that they don't bring expertise. But sometimes having lived in that skin and having experienced some of those similar challenges, when you just want to give up and you feel like, what's the point of this? And you're not feeling that great about yourself personally. Having that ability to be resilient in the moment, to find some additional strategies and continue to press on. Hopefully I'll be able to share, like I said, some of those tips that'll get you through some of those. So that's a little bit of my backstory. I'm certain I'll share more, but just wanted to start that process, to document it. So until next time.